At its core, this is a story of fathers and sons.
When we set out, we were thinking about college sports, amateur athletes, and the NCAA system. And really, the story kind of took on its own narrative around parenting, with Maurice gravitating towards Jim Tressel as that fatherly figure in his life.
Jim Tressel was taught by his father to treat his players like family. And he has a philosophy where he doesn't just teach them X's and O's, but uses compassion in the same way he would with any member of his own family. And Maurice was one of those kids. That created a bond between the two of them that we knew existed, but we were actually surprised just how deep it went.
When Maurice got out of jail, Coach Tressel was one of the first people there to stand by him to help him through that adversity, because Coach Tressel was going through somewhat of a traumatic experience of his own.
Tressel has been accused of lying to investigators. He told the NCAA that he didn't know that some of his players had been selling signed memorabilia for money and tattoos.
Tressel knew about the violations back in April. He should have told the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
5 players suspended for the first 5 games of the 2011 season for selling memorabilia. In March, Tressel suspended 2 games for failing to notify the school of the violations, then later accepted a 5-game suspension.
In April, it came out that Tressel had contacted an FBI agent within days of getting word about the violations, but never contacted anyone at the university with regard to compliance.
I received some emails regarding an ongoing federal criminal drug trafficking case. I've had a player incarcerated. I've had a player get taken into the drug culture and lose his opportunity for a productive life. And so it was obviously tremendously concerning. Quite honestly, I was scared. As we sit in homes, we talk about we're going to take care of these young people and we're going to treat them like they're our own. I felt at the time as if I was doing the right thing for the safety of the young people, and an NCAA violation occurred on my part. I will have sanctions.
He knowingly played ineligible players. This is a cardinal sin. Your number one job to protect the integrity of the program.
Those 5 players, they know what they did, and they brought this university down.
I don't think any of us realized how hard this would affect people around us. We're not bad people.
Jim Tressel has decided to resign.
Tressel has stepped down as the head coach.
He got caught up in being so loyal, take care of his own players, the way you would your son, the way I would my son.
Of course, he's going to ask, what was it that Reese was doing that I didn't pay attention to? Or what is it that we overlooked? And apply those experiences towards the next person. I don't want his life to get out of control and get out of hand the way it happened to Reese.
I remember when Maurice had all his problems, some people wanted us to give up on him. You never give up. You wouldn't even consider giving up on someone that you love.
I missed Maurice. I think we have a little bit of kindred spirit. Maybe it's the Youngstown thing. And we were starting to replan again. I was like, gosh, I get to be back involved. And we started to begin the course. Go to class and work out. That would be a start.
So I enrolled at Ohio State. I took 2 courses. I aced them both, and I had fun learning. When I believe when you have that mindset, everything else just lines up.
Your goals are constantly revised according to circumstance, but your purpose, your real reason for being, that supersedes. Maybe that's why some of his goals didn't come to fruition. Maybe they were all leading to his greater purpose.
As tough as he was, he really has a soft heart. And the dream that he had of him coming back and talking to kids and telling them the mistakes he made, you don't have to stay here and you could get out of this. That's what he's doing now.
Now I run youth football camps for kids, building character inside these kids, creating discipline. I'm a black guy, I'm a convicted felon, and you're giving me access to your kids, which is huge. What the parents believed in me, they seen how it was just basically me from my heart poured into these kids and everything else came from it. I knew at the age of 18, I knew I wanted to be a leader and I wanted to be a minister. When I go speak to churches and when I speak to youth organizations, when I speak in those prisons, people see if I rebuilt myself. I rebuilt my mind, my body, my soul. I promise to stand firm for a lot of you young guys and girls out here. I know how it is to be broke, drinking every day, popping pills, smoking weed, going through that heavy depression. They forget to tell you when you come through these walls, you get mental health issues. I got out the joint. I was in a horrible place. I can't find housing because I'm a convicted felon. Maurice, pick what application you denied. It's structured to move you back to the hood. I got a girlfriend and a child. I don't know how to provide for myself. I'm stressed out, thinking about committing crimes.
How did you get past that depression of going through this?
I set my mind to something, kept my head clear. I honed the information in that I learned during my incarceration to do something better with myself. When you connected to positive people, when you connected to people who uplift you, people who motivate you, that's how I come out. Show me your friends, I show you your future. I want to thank my good friend Jim Tressel for helping put this whole thing together, going back into the community and help me involved in what it is that I'm doing. I had many troubles, got my life back together. I want to share my experience.
Maurice did depend on Jim Tressel, and Tressel tried to provide some of the values that fathers instill, but Tressel can never be his father. We had that conversation before his dad passed about him reaching out and getting some of those things that were unanswered answered. And he did have the number, and he just didn't call.
I just got done working out, and I was cooling down on the bike. My brother said, hey, your father passed away, and I thought I wouldn't care. I always used to think, like, if I ever heard it, it wouldn't bother me. But when I saw him in the casket, body not moving, he's not moving, and everything was silent, that's when it hit me. It was real deep. This is where you come from. He was who he was, and this is who I